right, graders, good morning. Been a couple days since I posted a videos. I apologize, but we've been busy with some other stuff going on. But we're unloading here on another job, one of our custom homes. This is down off the Cockroach Bay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but anyways, we're here to scrape a lot of this grass off. It's grown up a lot since we were here last, and we're going to cut a driveway and just kind of prep this thing, get it ready for the concrete. Guys, got a lot of cleanup to do, getting some of this stucco and mortar mix off the walls where it falls off, and a lot of trash. So we'll keep you guys along for the journey. Thanks for watching. right, graders, it's been about an hour, and you can see what a difference we've made here. We've got all the stucco and mortar and, well, you saw it, all kinds of trash around this place. This house is going to require quite a bit of dirt to get fall to the road for water. So I'm just giving you a quick walk around. We've pulled all this concrete out, and we've shoveled everything that we couldn't get to with the skidder. I didn't go that way because the homeowner and the builder are talking on that corner. Anyways, you get the gist of it. It looks like this all the way around right now. Right now we're figuring out the driveway and how far it comes out. We'll get back with you here shortly when we're grading this thing.
That's what you get. You want to park a couple cars out here?
Would it make sense to just kind of angle it out this way?
Let me ask you this. Who's going to park?
That would be me.
Whoever's in that spot, back out. Back out.
We're just figuring out the driveway with the homeowner here. These are custom homes, so they can pretty much pick what they want to do. Okay guys, the homeowner has decided to scrape almost all this grass out front, and he's going to put sod in. So I'm going to give you guys a time lapse of me just making 1 bucket of wide inside those orange flags that are on the ground. Those orange flags are a Verizon Fios line. It's internet line. We're going to go about 10 inches inside of that, and I'm going to go all the way around this corner lot, all the way to that concrete telephone pole over there. So I'll give you a time lapse of me scraping that out, and that'll just give my dad room on the loader to do the major pushing. All right, graders, we're making some progress on this thing. I'm sorry I didn't give you a ton of footage filling this in. I had to bring the elevation up quite a bit. We got the front pretty much filled in. We'll have to grade and cut the sidewalk, or the lead walk, and the driveway. You can see my brother is working on this driveway area. Right now we're just in the bring in fill dirt stage, and in an hour or two we'll start actually finish grading the rough grade. That's kind of a weird way of saying that, but we'll finish it out because we're going to track this thing up a little as we go forward. But this is going to be a big driveway. It's going to lead out there to the road. We'll do a tapered apron or an apron with flares out at the road. This kind of gives you an idea what we got going on here. We've made a lot of progress. It is 11:53. We got here about 8 o'clock, and we're moving on pretty good on this one. All right, graders, we are just about finished up for today. We have a big storm coming in, and also we have a hurricane coming in actually tomorrow. It's supposed to make landfall. So going to be some pretty rough weather over the next 24 48 hours for us. So, but we got this one to the point where they can form a driveway and a lead walk, and then out at the road here they're just going to pour a small apron. Between the apron and the driveway is actually going to be shale. They do a lot of shale down here on the water, and the shale will meet up with the concrete pad. So that is pretty much our day. I know I didn't get a ton of footage today, but it's just non-stop trying to scrape all this grass. We haven't even taken a break today. It's been all we could do to get done, and we wanted to get done before the big storm came in. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I may actually add a little bit of a devotion at the end of this. We'll see what hits me on the way home. All right, guys, I greatly appreciate you viewing our videos. I would love if you would subscribe, leave a comment, give us a like. The channel is growing, and I greatly appreciate that. I really do. So, all right, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Good morning, graders. It is Wednesday morning. It is actually the morning of Hurricane Idalia, and thankfully the storm moved a little bit north of us. We definitely got some winds and rain. I say thankfully for us, but unfortunate for others up in the Panhandle and Tallahassee area. But this is actually the ending of the video that I recorded yesterday, and I thought I would do just a little devotion. And look, I don't want to be too cliche this morning, but what better subject could you talk about than storms? And I'll just give you a quick little story, hopefully it'll be encouragement to you. There's a story in the New Testament of the disciples and Jesus getting on a boat, and they're sailing across the Sea of Galilee. If you're familiar with the Bible, you're familiar with the story. There's so many stories that take place on the Sea of Galilee. Just real quickly, some misconceptions about the Sea of Galilee. It is called a sea, however, it is fresh water. It is a lake, and it's actually not even a real big lake, especially for us down in Florida. We have some monster lakes. Some of you guys up north have some monster lakes. The Sea of Galilee is not a huge lake. Don't get me wrong, it's plenty big, and the Bible speaks of many storms that come up in the Sea of Galilee, and they create massive waves. And actually, one of my trips to Israel, we experienced one of those windstorms, and we saw how that the water could become incredibly turbulent. Also, the Sea of Galilee is mentioned in 3 ways in the Bible. It's known as the Sea of Galilee, it is known as Lake Gennesaret, and it is also known as the Tiberias, Lake Tiberias. Tiberias is a town right on the coast there of the Sea of Galilee. But just real quickly, they're headed across the Sea of Galilee, and Jesus is in the bow of the boat, and he's asleep. And a storm arises. Certainly Jesus knew that the storm was going to arise. He was testing their faith, and the disciples begin to fear, much the way you and I fear when the storms come in our life. I'm not talking about physical storms, although living in Central Florida, we do experience some fear from hurricanes. I've been here my whole life. I've never been greatly affected by a hurricane, but certainly been without power for several days, had some flooding, things like that. But the disciples, despite the fact that they had seen so many miracles that Jesus had done, they began to experience tremendous fear. And so they call for Jesus, they wake him up. And of course, Jesus says, "Ye of little faith, don't you have faith? You're with the creator of the world." And he gets up and he rebukes the winds and the seas, and they become calm. And only Jesus has that kind of power, but Jesus created the winds and the seas, so he has power and dominion over all things. But I say that to say this: not only does he have power and dominion over the physical winds and the physical rains and the physical waves of this world, he also has power and dominion over the spiritual storms that you go through, the mental storms, the emotional storms, the tragic loss that we experience sometimes with family, all the valleys in our life, those storm moments in our life. Jesus does have control over those things. And you say, well, Brother Kevin or Kevin, you say that he has control over those things, but in my storm, I never got the outcome I was looking for. We don't always get the outcome we're looking for. Unfortunately, we live in a sinful, fallen world, which is not his fault, by the way. We chose to do that. And so sometimes we chalk up things that happen in our lives to spiritual, or God didn't do this or God didn't do that, when they're really just the natural application of life, the natural things that we go through. But I will tell you this: Jesus promised that for those who belong to him, those who believe in him, he would never leave and never forsake us. Listen, I've been through some storms, some real storms in my life. I'm not talking about physical stuff. And although I didn't get the answer I was necessarily looking for, I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jesus was there in my life to calm the storms. And sometimes he does that through his people. I have a large group of friends that are church related, and man, when there's an old song we sing that says, when one has a heartache, we all shed a tear. That's a picture of a good church, or a good church body, is that when one is suffering, we suffer along with them. We wrap our arms around them. We meet the needs of our people. And so in other words, we can be Jesus to our neighbor. So I hope you've put your faith in Jesus. I hope that when you encounter the storms, he's the one you turn to, because honestly, guys, he's the only one that can do anything about it. So hopefully that was an encouragement to you this morning. We're actually taking the day off because we're still getting bands of rain and wind, and I'm going to work on some four-wheelers. We have some CV axles that are broke on 2 different four-wheelers, and so I'm going to replace those today. Have a great day, guys. I hope you're encouraged. We'll get back with you on the next video.